Gentlemen, how you doing? Thank you for joining me on another Man Talk. Yeah, it is raining. I guess I'm not going to complain about the rain because I saw on WhatsApp in Australia it is raining baseball size hail. So this rain means nothing. My plans got ruined, but it's not raining baseball size hail. Anyway, gents. What I want to talk about was something I was introducing my niece and nephews to learning something from the beginning. Now, what learning stuff from the beginning does, it humbles you. Because when you're doing stuff that you gain mastery over, I wouldn't say you become puffed up, but when you're learning something from the beginning and you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, it causes you to be in a childlike state. Now, granted, they're children, but I want to, like I'm talking to you about it, I want them to experience it. So, in the next 5 years, when I tell them what I'm telling you, they will understand why. Now, I can't remember the book I read. It may have been The Ninja. It had to have been The Ninja by Eric Lasmeda, where one of the senseis had said that the greatest danger to the mind of a warrior is for the mind to get into a rut. That's why whenever, let's say, you become a black belt, halfway through your black belt training, you go and he would send you to learn at the beginning another side of being a ninja from another teacher. And halfway through that, you go to another. Halfway through that, another. Then you start back over again to work on your first black belt. Then you go to the teacher after that to work on your black belt again. And you keep, the sensei kept doing that. And the reason why he did that, because he said that the brain and the mind would get in a rut and you would be lulled to sleep. And even though he said lull to sleep, you know what he means? You go on autopilot. And to me, that's dangerous. Because once you go on autopilot, you literally are going to sleep. And you only get one time on this earth. To me, I know reincarnation is real. I would hope it's real, but I can't gamble on that. So, to make sure I don't go to sleep, every 5 years, I go and learn something new. And I have to start all over again. Like for me, my music. Now, I used to play the piano, but I haven't played it, oh dear God, in 35 years. So I'm starting over. Now, I know my music, but I haven't done it from I left junior high school, so that's 30 years ago. Anyway, 30 plus years ago. Anywho, I have to learn all over again. What I had to go back to the beginning, to the stage of being a child, which is good because it is changing my way of thinking. I'm not doing the stuff that I've mastered. I'm starting all over again. Well, I'm not blind. I'm not in the dark as far as music is concerned. But to start over. Now, once I've done that, my next goal is to learn to play the saxophone. I've never learned to play it, so it's a new skill. I get to learn something new. And after that, the Japanese flute. And that'll be about it. Just those three instruments. So I'll spend a few years learning, relearning the piano, then learning to play the saxophone, then the Japanese flute. To me, what it symbolizes is, giving your mind a new vantage point. So that, well, all right, this is what I'm trying to say. When I come across a new subject, the world gets brighter, the colors get brighter, songs get crispier, food tastes better, everything tastes better, or everything changes or heightens when I learn about a new subject. Like when I learned about Chinese astrology. That's all I studied for a year. When I learned about numerology, that's all I devoured for about 5 years. I was electrified because I'm learning something new. And gentlemen, what I'm trying to say is, you want to be in that state where you electrified rather than being lulled to sleep. You don't want to get into autopilot, gentlemen. To me, that's very dangerous. Because that's the last thing you need to be doing. Because you don't wake up 20 years later and realize, oh my God, I've been asleep. So what you could do, because life will put you to sleep now. Don't get me wrong, life will put you to sleep. So you take matters into your own hands by learning something new every year. And start like, well, I should say 3 years, but just 1 year. Learn all you can about it. And then if you can, go deeper. Like for when I came across numerology, in my study and excitement, I didn't realize I was going deeper and deeper as time went on. When I got introduced to newer ways of looking at numerology from the Western point of view, the Indian point of view, and the Chinese point of view, and now the American Indian point of view. What I'm saying, gentlemen, is you don't have to go deep, but just for the love of God, every year, make it your business to embark on something new. Now, how to do this, you ask? Go to the bookstore. Go to the library. That's how I stayed on that path. From the bookstore and the library. Of always learning something new. And I understood why my teacher from junior high school all through college always said, make it a point to learn something new every day. Because it electrifies you. And interestingly enough, once you learn something new, this has been my experience, I cannot say it'll work for everyone. I usually end up learning about more stuff. Like take for example, I got introduced to the poetry of war through reading Mark Olden's book, Oni, when I was introduced to Sun Tzu. And the Book of Five Rings from The Ninja by Eric Lusbader. And once I got into the poetry of war, I devoured that. This was back, oh God, before my nephew was born, back in 94. From 94 until now, I am still devouring the poetry of war. Right now, I have 20 books to order from Amazon, just on the poetry of war alone. Anyway, gentlemen, I hope that helped. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Do not fall asleep. Try and learn something new every year. Learn a new skill from the beginning every year. Like for me, I was getting into photography. And you know, interestingly enough, I end up making friends with a photographer. So I jumped ahead in my studies because I knew someone that was a photographer, and someone I knew later on became a photographer. I just kept jumping ahead. But anyway, gentlemen, just get started and make it a habit of staying electrified. Please don't fall asleep. Do not allow life to lull you to sleep. All right, gentlemen, I'm where I gotta be. Goodbye. Thank you for joining me.